And welcome back. Picking where we left off last time in Shadow Empire, Oceania, the Oceania DLC, where we're playing on the Normal Gaia world. In this stream, we're basically picking up basically the end of round 200. We're going to be playing past that, basically. So we're in the process. I suppose actually construction making is a better way to look at the construction that's ongoing. So construction-wise, we're in the process of building various things. We just finished up the air base and the truck station across the strait here. What we're trying to do is we're obviously building up the beer cutting offices in a couple places, building the cutting furnaces in a couple places, complete some of our quests. If we complete what we're building in the capital, we'll have Airbase 3 and we'll start being able to attempt to do air transport across the channel, which may allow us to solve some of our delivery issues. So we're making 400 metal over here, and it's getting stockpiled in the zone instead of getting delivered to the SHQ, and that's actually interfering with many of the things we want to do to simply just improve the zone, improve the country. Victory score wise, we'll look at the victory score before we actually get going. We're currently sitting happily second on the podium. I think all the AIs to some degree are basically at war with each other, so we're kind of sitting on the sidelines enjoying the fact that we have peace with everyone while everyone else is at war with everyone. So the only thing we have to be careful of is that Brunderstein, who's currently the person first, doesn't run away with the game and win. Right, that's basically the only thing we need to be worried about. And that's not going to be super easy for them. But that is something, in theory, if they actually just started winning and beat all the three, beat 3, 4, and 5 down, that they could technically get into a winning state. We're in theory not going to make that easy, because as they beat them down, in theory, that's going to cause migration out of those zones, and the main migration target's probably going to be us. Right, and then we've got some places where we can expand peacefully. We could potentially expand to these guys peacefully. And with a little bit of war, that would be sort of low-intensity warfare, we should be able to come up and take over the Nomad territory over here. Otherwise, we should have pretty much done what we were planning on doing for the turn. I do have a surprising amount of political power, so apparently I could actually do something here before we end the turn. Let's check, do we have any interesting zone stuff? The Pernian sensor is not super interesting. Do some private investments. Again, not particularly interesting. No industrial capacity right now. Some bureaucratic pushes. But... no plea for friendship. Could play Xeno Diplomat. In fact, that's probably what we're going to do. Unless looking at the majors, we got something we can play that be productive on the majors. So we know where the 4 majors are. To some degree, we think they're all at war with each other. I think one of them may be willing to do Victory Pact. So these guys are willing to do Victory Pact. Not willing. Not willing, and not willing. 10% score obviously is not quite enough right now to win, so we're not going to be pursuing a Victory Pact right away. Do we have Friendship Pact on all of them? We do. Cultural Exchange. Already do, okay. Let's double check and make sure we've got freedom of movement. If I was checking down here, we probably could have seen it. So we have open border. Okay, so we should improve. Wait. Oh, freedom of movement is open border. Okay, so we have open border with them. 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 So if our cities are nice enough places to live, people migrate out of their cities and into our cities. And then we could probably try to do some scientific cooperation to leech science off of them. But that's mutual, right? So if we beeline a particular tech, they'll leech it off of us. Then we could apparently improve the scientific exchange.
Roger that.
Grab some scientific exchange with them. And gonna target that guy.
Roger that.
Yep, they said no, but there was no risk of critical failure there. I think scientific joint effort is above that. So they're not willing to do that, and we have it with them already, okay. Anyways, that's all all the international politics we can do with the majors. Let's send the Xeno diplomat to the minor.
Roger that.
And we'll cycle a turn and see if I completely screwed up and needed that political power for something. Money's looking fine, and in this case, right now we're sitting in sort of a state of no war. While we try to sort out our metal production. We've got tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of metal demand. And so that's basically holding up everything. And would get in the way if we were to declare war. Right? There are people we could attack, but then we'd run very rapidly into... And our troops are terrible because we don't have the metal to support them properly. Well, in some ways our troops aren't necessarily... I haven't looked at the other guys' troops. We probably could do that in a couple cases. See what the troops look like. I don't think our troops are necessarily horrible. Just we're going to be outnumbered because of our ability to supply metal. Okay, rolled back around to us. Bottom of round 2 of 1, we have 9 decisions awaiting us, one of which we triggered. And we have quack doctors to deal with. Salaries, I'm not going to screw the salaries. That's fine. Probably would be the motorized light infantry that we modify, but no. Minor worker strike in Dionysus Ocean. Yeah, we'll give in to some of the demands. Give in to some of the demands. Quack Doctor, you have my full support to mitigate. Spies, give it to the humanists. Spies, give it to... I think it's the holy educators we want.
Roger that.
And we've got our scheduled meeting with the aliens, so we could ask them to join us, which would take a bunch of political power, or we can just offer them credits, or ask them to help us learn their language. What's the language up to with the aliens here? I think it's the Mozart. Reasonable, impressive. Mozart, yeah, okay. Meeting with the Mozart representative, blah blah blah. Yeah, let's attempt the roll. See what we get. Rolled 60 versus 143, so it didn't work. It's not technically telling us what the roll is, so we probably need to button them up a bit more. One way or the other, if we want to diplomatically annex them. The main thing we get diplomatically annex them is we get whatever troops they have left. Okay, so these guys are still 90 opinions. We need another request for friendship. So we look here at these guys. Oh, that's the militia. That's not really useful to compare against. And we have enough recon on the other guys, okay. What about on the other front? Eclair, Sturmer. Okay, so these look like Gen 1, Gen 2 troops. So that's not too bad. Don't know if that's their entire army, or... Well, I suppose that could also be militia as well. How the AI sometimes play as it. Construction-wise, how has our construction proceeded? We finished the organic furnace. We finished the bureaucratic office. We were doing the bureaucratic offices to complete both demands. So once the bureaucratic office is finished, all the demands have been complete. Didn't make great progress on Riffle Point's work. Probably because it was competing with Moncrun for logistical capacity to deliver the metal. My guess was going on. Yeah, so there's some metal delivery problems going on there. Moncrun probably got all the metal, so they got shorted on it. The airbase has proceeded at speed, so the airbase in the capital should complete next turn. And then we can attempt to raise some transport formations, which are independent formations. We may actually be able to see them. It should tell us we won't be allowed to build them. So we can do recon. That's not what we're looking for. Fighter. Heavy tank. Oh, it might not be showing up because we might not be able to build anything, or build that big of a plane. So our fighters are showing up, which makes sense. See the recon over here. Recon fighters, I think the fighter bombers and our transports are unbuildable at the site. Okay, so we can probably come over here and see. Here, should have it, yeah. Okay, so we can see the fighter bombers here. Obviously, we can see that we have other problems here with delivering because of the logistical issues. Should be able to at least see the transport planes. Just transporter. Shining Star 2. This is what it would cost. We don't have the logistics here to deploy a full unit, but we will be able to do it next turn in the capital. These are pretty metal heavy, but we'll see how those work come the next turn. And okay, now I'm going to try to save up some political power for approaching those guys, diplomatic-wise. Let's cycle the turn, and we'll see, should see the airbase finish on the next turn. Which will also stand up transport aircraft at the capital. My hope is with functional transport aircraft, that'll help us get the 20-something thousand metal transported across the strait, so we can very rapidly build up more stuff, basically more industry. So 20,000 metal would, for example, allow us to get a heavy industry going, probably get a high-tech industry going, probably get, well, I'm not actually sure if can double-check if we've researched high-tech. I know it's been, I think it was discovered, I'm not sure if it's researched yet. And obviously it would help us do more soil demyelination plant work. 8 decisions. One decision is going to be respond to that bacterial outbreak and the Alliance. Hunter wants to execute relative. Now we're going to recommend them for even bring it up. Giving some demands. Giving it some demands. Investigate who's the agitator. There's a decent chance we win there. Succeed there. Critical success. Not only did I manage to find him, but he publicly declared his arguments were lies. Yes, he's already dealing with that. Be like merit. Opposing a alliance. This is political power, and I'm not sure we want to. This also just we'll go with the government version again.
Roger that.
Okay, so the airbase is done. The airbase, in theory, provides 100 airbase points. No, 160 airbase points. So I'm not sure how that actually translates to formations of transport planes specifically. But yeah, we'll raise at least one of these guys so we can look at them, figure out their stats. These guys need 510 fuel, 6 food, and have a unit transfer weight of 597. That's if you want to just strategically redeploy with them. Obviously, they aren't there yet, or they've only just stood up, so they have no readiness. Otherwise, we could attempt to do a air bridge commands. Yeah, no air bridge command option available. We'll work our way up from there for trying to figure out how much we actually can field in the spot. This doesn't tell me. Size 10, carry 30. 10 might be what it's talking about with air level. Minimum air base level 3. Yeah, so I think we can probably field like 16 of these here. Obviously, or 16 subunits. 3 subunits here, so we could technically go up to 5 more of these transport groups, if my reading of that is correct. So it's actually tech-wise. Let's look at the tech. Did we get high-tech yet? Okay, we started in a high-tech industry. It's not developed. I do, assuming we have the throughput, want to start heavy industry converting materials into machines. That's probably what we want to go with. And that's going to be tight, but I think we should be able to build one of those. So let's build one of those. Well, let's start building one of those. And we'll probably only build one level. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cycle the turn again. We're saving up some political power. I'm going to attempt to do the whole Xeno Diplomat team. So I want like 50 plus an additional 90, right? So we're waiting to get up to like 150 political power in case something happens to play the double combo of play the team and then do the big party attempt to woo them. Yeah, and to some degree, I'm also acknowledging that the end turns here are probably a little bit on the boring side, because there's not really much going on from our perspective, because we don't have any good views of the battle sites. We know they're fighting, and that's about all we know. Alien attacker attacking us. They lose 300. That's fine and acceptable. Steel round. Steel land round 203. We killed 300 infantry and have 5 decisions awaiting us. Did I fail one of the demands because stuff didn't complete in time? That's what that sounded like. Okay, so yeah, I think the first one timed out. The second one might actually complete in time. Apparently we didn't get our bureaucratic points up quickly enough to think what that was.
Yes. Yes, sir. Roger that. Roger that.
So, bureaucratic office here is complete. Heavy industry did go a full turn, so that's actually pretty good. And with the exception of Ripple Point, which is having delivery issues with its metal, everything is proceeding as planned. We'll see how long that goes, because we just lost half the stockpile of metal. So we got air bridge with the 1st Air Transport Brigade. And I believe it's now set up. So it's got A for air bridge, 2 there. There we go. I think that's all we do. And we'll see how much supply that's providing. And if that supply is working the way I think it does, should hopefully start to see some of the metal go across. Food's down, petrol's down. We're on buy. Yeah, we're on buy. Let's buy some food. Food's getting, well, as far as food is concerned, food's getting pretty expensive.
Affirmative.
And then petrol. Petrol's also pretty expensive.
Affirmative.
Okay, did our petrol well run out? Yep, the petrol well's still running. So I don't necessarily know what's completely eating the petrol, but I think we should be fine for a while, even if that burn continues. And with that, let's cycle the turn and see how that logistics bridging operation goes. See how much that contributes. Oh, hello. Sorry for missing the Twitch chat. It's going pretty well. Hope your work goes well. I think in the game, we're back in Shadow Empire, so it's basically sitting here, working out the kinks in our logistics. Because as is often the case in Shadow Empire, logistics is what sort of wins or loses you the game. Can you get your things to where you want them to in a reasonable amount of time? And of course, part of the point of doing the map the way it is, I specifically rolled a map that would have continents. So a lot of the problems that I'd be having on your usual map roll for a Gaia world wouldn't be a problem. Most of the Gaia worlds are sort of Pangea-ish most of the time. So I specifically rolled one that wasn't, which is giving us all the problems we're having. We have 4 decisions. Okay, so we completed 1 demand. Need to remember trigger? Yeah,
Yes.
whatever you need, I'm on board with getting that mitigated. Legendary courtesan. Sure. We'll acquire one of those. Charismatic Union Chief. Does demands. Holy educators. Okay, and now we should have enough to attempt. Whether it's going to succeed or not, we have enough to attempt. We're going to attempt the Xeno diplomat team on Mozar territory.
Roger that.
Which is basically guaranteed they will show up next turn, and then we'll go with the expansion option and see if that's enough to move over. So air bridging wise, you're en route, probably working. What did that do for the logistics? Okay, well, we can't see that on the logistics preview. Okay, it didn't improve the logistics situation enough, obviously, to get any of the metal moved, which is somewhat of a problem if that is the case. Hobbin. Mostly wet and arid zone. Landscapes are mostly agricultural. Plains grassy. Okay, that's not explaining anything I need about my air. City Collins is degraded. That's not great. Its population's migrating away, apparently. Okay, most of our construction is running, slightly delayed, but running. One thing I can assume is maybe that hasn't actually kicked in yet for logistics. Either it's just not providing enough. Yeah, unit requires 9 airbase points for optimal servicing, and not 10. Okay. Oh wait, the airbase is now providing 152 more logistic points. So that just didn't make enough of a difference by itself. Okay. Okay, well, let's raise a few more of the air formations to try to get some more transport capacity. We'll do one a turn until we get enough additional transport capacity. And zone-wise, we do want to get the zoo project out.
Understood.
And we'll cycle the turn. So to be fair, the Collins downgrading in theory has probably made it a more, well, the midterm probably made it a more ideal zone for immigration, because it should raise the comparative cultural value. Because I believe it's divided by zone level. So instead of being level 3, it's now level 2, so divide all those numbers by 2 instead of 3. So that'll take a little while to kick in. It is one reason that once I fix our metal production... Oh, there we go, losing... I think it was a batch of mercs that finally got worn down. So we killed 203, lost 100. Is one reason to make a move and try to improve the quality of life in all the zones.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Copy that.
Yes, sir.
Schedule meetings with the aliens. So organize a big ceremony, ask them to join us.
Roger that.
Organize great feasts, parades, and games. The aliens were impressed with the feast. Festivities. We rolled 106 versus the difficulty of 126. Amused maybe, but the alien is and do not seem interested in our offer. Darn. Okay.
Roger that.
So that's getting us to 160 something. So obviously we need to do something else to improve our roll on that. And I've got to run out of machine parts. Is, to be fair, one of the reasons we are trying to build that heavy industry. We now have the second transport unit. Like so. They're both on air bridge. See how that improves over time as we attempt more and more airbase delivery. Okay, why? There we have logistical capacity here. Decent logistical capacity. Why is it not moving back to the SHQ?
Standing by for Roger that.
Doesn't seem to be any problems there.
Roger that.
May have lost a little bit on the port, which isn't great. Okay, so we got 890 here, so we should be... There, yeah, I think we should be getting some logistics motion. Why are we not getting more? Okay, so we got bottlenecking down here, so it might just be that we got everything saturated for whatever reason. Isn't good if that's the case. Was 90, bring up to 180, so that should be 90 more transport points. Why is that not... What's the shortfall transport? SHQ to zone, SHQ to unit, SHQ, or zone to SHQ is severe shortfall. We've got 168 logistic points requested, of which we were only able to deliver 13,000. And 45 went to deployment. Okay, so we just have a shortage of logistical assets, apparently. That's what that's implying. So it's mostly bottlenecks by the implication. Probably port bottlenecks, okay. Because all that's being delivered. I think all that's being delivered. Is it? Yeah, basically what's being produced is being delivered, what's being produced is being delivered. Same, basically there and there, so it's got to be ports. How many is our throughput on the gauge contracts? We got all the contracts about to expire is what's about to happen. Okay. That's maybe not ideal. The port, in theory, should be able to handle all the contracts. This comes down to if we have the support from the other side. Okay, that's reasonably renewable, so we'll renew you. You're reasonably expensive. Oh, and okay, so we need the DOS cargo one to be placed. You're to where? Sego. So yeah, we want the Sego not to go. Oh, and the one going. Okay, so that's where we lost some of our logistical capacity. So we're gonna do MTH transport contract.
Affirmative.
Get into one of those. Sell a bunch of metal. And we'll refresh these contracts for another 10 turns.
Roger that.
So they don't tune out when we need them. And again, we need to figure out how to get Delia Bay, I suppose, just to give us more transport capacity. I'm not actually sure how much transport capacity they have left. Which is a slightly different problem. Do we have shipbuilding? We could spend 2,000 credits to give them more ships. I don't really want to spend 2,000 credits to get more ships, so we'll just run with what we got for the moment. Okay, strategic card-wise, zones. And the zoo product to deploy.
Yes.
Give it over there. I suppose we might as well go ahead and play the Xeno Diplomat team. These guys.
Roger that.
Some more proven with them. Don't think any of our mines that we're actively mining have deleted anytime recently. Mining. Oh no, we got some empty mines. That might be why the oil's low. In Moncron and Quetzal. Okay. Now let's do Quetzal. Moncron is the one across the way. Yeah, okay.
Affirmative.
And then let's, well, we got 2 stood up now. Let's raise up again. We got the metal on hand. Let's raise up a 3rd. Now, we're going to be repeating this until we've got the 16 possible air units set up there doing transport, or until the situation proves. So I think I'm going to play one more turn in this part. This way we can get the transport route, sea transfer route set back up again. We are still working on heavy industry. When that's done, we'll have a decent flow of machine parts coming in. Okay, round 206. We have 11 decisions. That's really not a decision. We're going to leave it basically how it is. New demand, you want more BP.
Roger that.
Not opposed to that. This is not even really a thing. I'm just going to accept, accept. We'll take a little bit of danger. Transport contract. Want port unload. Is it that port? Yes, it's that port. From the capital. Ooh, okay. This should help.
Roger that.
Give us a big pile of logistics, please. Don't care about increasing the water mine. I do want to schedule meeting with the aliens. We're gonna go with ask them to learn their language better. Surprised to some degree that we're not allowed to ask for mercs off of them.
Roger that. Roger
Educators, humanists. I think government suppresses enforcement. It does. Let's take the enforcement one. Okay, 3rd transport group. Please do a air bridge. And we're up transport. Still not up transport enough to get the metal moved. We'll probably say at the beginning of next part if that is enough. Could do some bureaucratic pushes. Shouldn't be the worst choice, I think. No luck on getting a plea of friendship yet. Okay. And... oh, no, we got another... where is it? Purple mining we want to play on you.
Affirmative.
That leaves with 15 points left, which is actually enough to do a burger. So we'll do that.
Roger that.
Okay, let's cycle the turn. Oh, I didn't build a air wing that turn. Oh well. So if you're watching on YouTube, this is where I'm going to go ahead and put the part break in. Hopefully the next couple parts I'll just be able to cycle the turns a little bit faster, so trying to improve the logistics net. Because once again, the logistics net self-fixing to some degree. We should be able to just improve the standard of living in our cities, hopefully. I'm going to go ahead and end the part here at the end of this turn cycle. So it'll be bottom of 207. We'll see how many decisions we have awaiting us. And the decision numbers always a little bit deceptive. Some of the decisions are really easy. Some of the decisions are basically not in the decision menu because they're deciding what we're building and how we're building and stuff like that. There we go. So next time we'll have 6 decisions. So until next time, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. Bye for now.